Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Sports Planet Podcast. I'm joined today by Alex Valadez. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thank you for allowing me to be the first guest.
No, thank you for being here. Like when I first thought of making a podcast, you were definitely the first one on my mind. So I was hoping that you'd be able to do it, and we're doing it. So let's get right to it. How you doing today?
Yeah, man. I'm good, man. Good. I probably doing a little better than you after this weekend.
Damn, had to rub it in right away, huh?
you
Um,
know, might
yeah,
as well go straight to the shits.
I mean it's a sports podcast. We're in America. Got to go straight to the very number one sport. Everybody knows what just happened this past weekend, Super Bowl 57. And as Alex just pointed out, I'm an Eagle fan, and the Chiefs won that Super Bowl thriller 38-35. What were your thoughts on that?
you know, just my initial thoughts of it was really focusing on how Jalen Hurts performed because he has such an unfair microscope on him where if he didn't have, because he had one of the best performances for a quarterback, especially one that didn't win. If he didn't have that, I guarantee you the media would have been coming saying, this is why you don't invest in running quarterbacks. This is why you don't even consider offering him a contract. I am a Jalen Hurts fan. I wanted the Steelers to draft him, so I'm rooting for him every time I see him go crazy for Philadelphia. So I'm really happy with how he performed.
Oh yeah, that's funny because I right now that you said that you wanted the Steelers to draft him, honestly, literally the other day, like something came up and I saw that tweet. You tweeted at me that day. You're like, "How do you feel about this?" And it's all like, because you were like, "I wanted him," and I was all like, "Dude." And Mike, I'm not gonna lie. Just like majority of Eagle fans, we were like, we have Wentz, we're good. But I am so glad. I've never been more glad, more happy in my life to be wrong about someone because I'm a huge Wentz fan, so you know it. And then now that it's Hurts, it's just the same way, but even more now because Hurts is just, I don't know, man. Like you said, it Hurts is just so easy to love, and I'm just so glad he had that big game because now everybody before that was saying like, oh no, you can't build around a running quarterback. Did you not just see what Jalen Hurts did in the Super Bowl? Like, you can do that and even more. Like now, obviously his rookie contract is something to play with. Like he's able to build around the team. And like Micah Parsons said, is it him or the system? But I think he proved to everyone that he is the system. He's the one that they built around. And I don't know, man. I'm just really excited for this future with Hurts.
It's funny you bring up Micah, and we can dig into this a little bit later. But
Yeah, yeah.
does it feel like the losing teams were talking a mess like this playoff run? I'm not talking about the Eagles. The Eagles
No.
were so respectful. I'll
Yes.
say that.
Yes.
But
Thank
I
you.
love. Listen, I might be jumping the gun, but Debo
Hmm.
Samuel is one of my favorite players. I think he's just so dynamic, and you can put him in so many positions to be effective. But
Hmm.
him going on this video run, tweeting at Quez Watkins and
Ayuk.
calling James
Uh,
Bradbury trash, like Ayuk, Robbie Gold of all people is questioning
yes. You're right.
Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts' ability to be a
Uh
quarterback.
huh. Hmm.
It's been a very unique social media playoff run in the NFL this year.
Like exactly. I'm like, I've just never seen someone more disrespected and a team also, not just Jalen Hurts, a whole team be more disrespected than the Philadelphia Eagles this year. Okay, you could say easy schedule, whatever. Eagles don't make the schedule. They just play the teams that are on it. Thank you. So it's all like you saw week 1, okay, we had a close game against the Lions, right? And then week 2, we showed up on Monday Night Football. So people use the excuse we played Monday Night Football, Kirk Cousins. But it's all like
Right.
we showed up, we did our thing, whatever. Fast forward through the season, we finish 14-3, right? 2 of those losses are without Hurts. But it's all like everybody's saying it's because of the easy schedule, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Just wait, you're going to lose first round against Danny Dimes, Saquon, Barkley, and the Giants. Super hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, right? Me personally, of course, I was not like, oh yeah, we got this. We swept them. We got this. Like it's a divisional opponent in the playoffs. Super hard to beat someone 3 times. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna pump the brakes. I'm not gonna get too excited too early. What happens? 38-7. It's like, the same people that were saying Danny Dimes, it's just Daniel Jones. You guys will face the real defense in the San Francisco 49ers, and they'll show you what's up. And then what happens? I'm sorry. I understand it was their fourth stringer, but they started with Brock Purdy, and Hassan Reddick just was on a tear that game.
Oh
It's all
man.
like, so you can say that they were on their fourth stringer, but even with Brock Purdy in the game, Hassan Reddick was already on a mission, and like, I don't know, that defense was just too good. And then by the time we beat them, it's all like, oh, they were on their fourth string quarterback. I'm like, okay, I understand that, but can you not give us a little bit of respect? Like, give the defense their flowers, right? It's all like, come on, they're the defense went through two quarterbacks. So I don't know. Like, what do you think?
My argument with the 49ers situation is, I played football growing up, and
Mm-hmm.
what you're always taught at the younger levels is next man up. Unfortunately for the 49ers, they
Mm-hmm.
were entering the playoffs with their third string quarterback. They were already on thin ice at that position. You get Josh Johnson in there, he ends up getting hurt. It's a violent game. You know what? The Eagles, I guarantee you, the Eagles would have preferred to have Purdy in there in terms of like
No doubt.
the resume of who they're
No
beating.
doubt.
But you play who's in front of you, like what you were saying with the
Mm-hmm.
schedule. And for the 49ers, you know what? Then put McCaffrey at quarterback if Purdy
Mm-hmm.
couldn't throw. He is your
Yeah.
emergency quarterback, and it was definitely an emergency.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't take it. Guess what? Y'all don't move to the next round. I hate that whiner type of like, and I tell you, I
Mm-hmm.
love Debo, I love IU.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, like why do y'all have to do this? You make it so hard to like you right now.
No, yeah, that's true. Because like all I saw after that game was Niner fans and like replies, comments, everything, trying to find that little excuse. Like if we would have had our quarterback, we would have won. And it's all like, honestly, just because Purdy was their third stringer to begin the season, obviously, but I think he was their best quarterback because their offense just went to a whole other level with Purdy behind center. Because with Jimmy G, it was more like, I feel
Game
like with Jimmy,
manager.
yeah, game manager, yeah, he'll make your check downs here and there. Just hand it off to the running back, and you're set. Hand it off to Debo for a jet sweep, you're set. But it's like with Purdy, they're like, oh wow, like this guy can actually throw the ball, and it's all like we can open up the system even more. So I don't
He
know, but
was he
once,
was he was
yeah,
smart with the ball, but he wasn't
hmm,
afraid to take a shot, which is what I
exactly,
really like
hmm,
appreciated about his game. He
yeah,
knew his strengths and weaknesses, and didn't try to do too much, but didn't get too conservative like an Alex Smith or
hmm,
quarterbacks like that kind of never put the ball in danger.
no, yeah, that's true. But that's what I'm saying. It's all like, man, that like it was that Super Bowl run. It was just so hard to like enjoy it because everybody was trying to bring them down. So once they finally got to the Super Bowl, it was like, yes, like please, Hurts, I know, I believe in you, I trust in you. You are quarterback. Please just show up and show off for everyone. Like just show them why they drafted you, why you replaced Wentz. Show them what every Eagle fan has seen this season because he's made a huge improvement from last season to this season. So before we get to the Super Bowl, like last season, making the playoffs in a rebuilding season, like I like going into that game, I didn't expect much because they played Tampa Bay and defending champs at that point. And just being there for the experience was more than enough for me because you saw what he needed to like improve on. So everybody was saying he's a running quarterback. He can't throw. He's not accurate. What did you see this season? Nothing but pinpoint accurate passes. Sure, he had some mistakes here and there, like any player does, right? But you could see everything that happened that went wrong in his passing game only got better. You know, so that's why when it got to the Super Bowl, I was all like, they weren't even running as much as they normally do because it was more of Hurts throwing the ball than anything. So what did you see in that Super Bowl performance? Because I don't want to talk as like Eagle fan, because I'm just gonna be praising him. But as an unbiased Steeler fan, what did you see?
So I'll say this: Howie Roseman was getting cooked for a very long time because of that Rager over Jefferson. And just so you know,
I
I
will
went
never.
Rager over Jefferson. I was excited
That's
for you.
crazy. That is
I thought
crazy.
Rager and Wentz was like, I thought they would fit
That
perfectly
deep shot.
because yeah, I just thought that it would work.
Yeah.
I was dead wrong, and my dynasty rosters will tell you because I missed out on Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson in a lot of leagues. But Howie Roseman is showing the flaws that Baltimore has made with Lamar in his rookie contract of not
Yeah.
putting players around him.
Yep.
You draft a pinpoint route runner with Devontae Smith, who seems to always find the soft spot in the zone. You have A.J. Brown,
Smitty.
who will go up there, and he sunned two of my Steelers DBs. He pointed at them in the end zone after he scored on them. You got Dallas Goedert, who to me is an underappreciated tight end. You got an offensive line led by, which by the way, the fact that their last name is Kels, but they just let everybody call them Kelsey all these years is hilarious. But just Howie Roseman put Jalen Hurts in position to prove that he can develop and putting those pieces there. I was very impressed with this Eagles team. I put $100 on Week 9 on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Now I did hedge my bet with the Chiefs because I wanted. I had the room, so I was like, if I can avoid a loss, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, might as well.
That's how confident I was in this Eagles team. Phenomenal offense.
Dang. So Week 9 was that? There was. Did we have the bye at that point? I can't remember. So was that coming off the Washington loss? Or was that right before the Washington loss? I feel like we already had our bye by that point.
Yeah, Week
I think
9,
that might have been right. That might have been 8-0 against the Texans then.
Yeah, and let me see. Let me just pull up the schedule. So it was. It's kind of funny. It was. I put it in October 31st, which is actually one day after, forget Halloween, one day after the scary whooping y'all put on the Steelers 35-13. I don't know if it was me seeing it against my team and me just looking at Minka and all, and our boys getting cooked, but I was like, you know what?
Saw AJ. You saw AJ with his 3 tutties that day, and you're like, all right, they're the real deal, you know? So, yeah, man, it's like fast forward to the Super Bowl, like everything's going well. 24-14 at halftime. But let me rewind real quick. A lot of people saying, yes, Hurts had a great game, right? But so many of the haters are still pointing to that one critical fumble where it's all like, I understand, like, we were up 14-7 at that point. And I'm all like, we're going to drive. We're going to score another touchdown right now. Make it 21-7, And it's all like, Hurts, I don't know. It just looks like he just loses the ball. So it's all like, I don't know, like that was like a little deflating, but that shows Hurts' character because he's the one that fumbled. But right before that play, there was a false start, I believe, on Isaac Seumalo, our one of our guards. And that changed it from a 3rd and 1 to a 3rd and 6. That led to the fumble by Hurts. And Hurts is the one that fumbled, gave up a return touchdown on that one. And next thing you know, they cut to the sidelines, and he's over there trying to pick up Seumalo because he thought it was his fault, but Hurts is all like, "No, that's on me. That's on me. Just come on, just keep it going." And what does he do? The very next drive, he takes him down the field for a touchdown. So that's just the mindset he has. It's like, I don't lose, I just learn, and I love that.
Yeah, I mean, and it was a hard-fought game. I mean, this game could have gone either way. I mean, if Jerick McKinnon would have scored and Jalen Hurts had more time, they could have been a completely different game. So,
yes,
a lot of factors go into it. I know, the Eagles allowing a touchdown on every or a score on every possession that they have. It's hard to win football games like that. So,
yep,
it's unfortunate, but I mean, if I was you as an Eagles fan, I'd be very confident in the future, even amidst a lot of these uncertain contracts and the coordinators, those situations.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's all like, I was hoping McKinnon was going to score on that touchdown. Like once you see, because you know what they always tell you, because at that point I think we only had one timeout left, and they always tell you, like, as the offensive man, it happened to Nick Chubb early in the season where he scored and they somehow lost the game. But it's all like, that's why they tell you when you get the first down, just go down. Because if you score that touchdown, you're giving the other team a chance to come back. And when I saw, like, the Eagles literally just like, all right, score it, please. Because it's not like they knew that they needed to let that in at that point before, because if not, new set of downs and time's over. But oh man, once he went down, I was like, damn it, I hate that he had such a high IQ on that play. It's not like, I was just so ready for that. I don't know, that signature moment in Hurts' career to be like, all right, time to go shut up the haters, send this into overtime, and give us another shot. But, man, it was tough. You know what? It was tough because all of that was from the holding call. But I don't know, man. Bradbury admitted to holding, but I don't know. At that point in the game, it's all like it's like an all-time classic, and a little tug on the jersey, and they call a penalty on that. What was going through your mind when that happened?
So it's funny because I'm glad I heard the sentiment from like Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, and everybody that it feels like that maybe to a fan that it comes down to one play, but I do think that it was a hold, only because of the jersey pull, and I'm going straight off to side. Like I would call it, if it was Minka, I would say it was like it's no bias there.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. It's a part of the game. It's like the situation with Osai from the Bengals. It's like it's a lapse of judgment. Like Bradbury knows not to do that, but when you're in the moment, you're frantic. You're just you're in a very pivotal point of the game. Like it happens. It's tough, but like I said, like the defense won't get as much crap for it because like overall. But
yeah, you're right. You're right.
You if you allow a score, I mean, the Eagles had the entire momentum in the first half. You guys had Mahomes hobbling his way to the locker room.
Yeah, Mahomes was hobbling, like you said, and then out of nowhere, the very next he comes out. They start off the third quarter with the ball, obviously. And what happened to the hobble? Like they had to have given him something. It's all like he was out there running with no pain. I'm like, dang. I don't know about like just something was off about it. But I'm all like, I guess the trainers got him right, and the rest was history. But like you said earlier, it doesn't all come down to one play. Like I know it's so easy to say it was the holding call, but like you mentioned, I'm not gonna be biased. I'm gonna be for real. I thought it wasn't a holding because I just felt like it wasn't enough of a tug. Plus, I felt like the ball was a little overthrown, so it wasn't catchable anyways. But as you said, the defense was atrocious. Like they got burnt real bad by Tony on that touchdown that put them ahead. And then after that, Eagles get the ball back, can't do much, punt it away, and then who like comes up big again? Kadarius Toney with that big punt return. And I was like, oh my God, this cannot be happening. Like we had a great season, we had a great first half in the Super Bowl. Like something had everything's going our way. Come on. And then Tony gets that punt return when they're up, and I'm like, oh come on, just at least hold him to a field goal. You gave up the big punt return, at least hold him to a field goal. What happens? Essentially the same play that happened with Tony, but this time to Sky Moore. Like they were both wide open. Like on the first one, Tony was on it. And not Tony. Slay was on Tony, and he got burnt. And Slay, he's a Pro Bowler. A big play Slay, but it's all like on that play he gave up a big play. So it's all like, damn, dude. But that defense, we were up 24-14, so they gave up 24 in the second half. 2 of those touchdowns being super easy, and so it's like, as an Eagle fan, you can, or as anybody can do, it was that one holding call. But I gotta give credit where credit is due. Kansas City just put on a clinic on our defense afterwards, and that's the thing. Like I'm not gonna blame it on the terrible field conditions, because both teams are slipping from it. So the pass rush from both teams, they couldn't really do much because as soon as they'd come off the edges, that like you'd see them slipping. But the secondary just wasn't there, like. So as a Eagle fan, like we pride ourselves on defense. Like not only Hurts, but defense as well. We had one of the best defenses in the league. You saw that in the first 2 games, and it's all like after having a great first half in the Super Bowl, you see that second half collapse, and I'm like, no, please, like, oh, it's like it was so hard to watch. So, and another thing about that too, because you obviously like we saw it, Philadelphia in any major pro sport was in a lot of finals this year. So Philadelphia Union in the MLS, they lost to LAFC in penalties, obviously after Gareth Bale's late game heroics in extra
He's
time.
making so much money that day.
He's
I was sweating.
yeah, and then in MLB, you saw the Phillies make it. As a Dodger fan, I was rooting for them because I hate the Astros.
I wanted
You
Harper to
know,
just
I will
separate
never get
and
over
see
it.
the
Yeah,
series go.
exactly. And then so now that like Philly was in it, everybody was that was also like a little talking point. You know, it was all like they're 0 for 2 right now. Uh, will the Eagles break that curse, or is that going to be a Philly thing this year? No pun intended. Um, but that's the thing, and it's all like, oh no, dude, I'm no, the Eagles are going to break this. Now they're 0-3, and I saw someone tweet saying like, oh wow, I really have to hope the Sixers win a championship this year. Like my championship aspirations lie on the Sixers. Come on, and it's all like, come on, like
Harden and
James
Harden
Harden,
playing the
playoff
Sixers
Harden,
right
yeah.
now.
No, that's what I'm saying. But damn, it's it just I don't know. It's a Philly thing, you know. But I guess it was all part of the script, right? Number one teams. It was number one teams from
Eric
each
Foster was being
conference.
sarcastic, everybody. Like, it's so funny how they ran with it. The
Yep.
memes, bro, the quote
Yeah.
tweets of people saying, like, Aaron Hernandez reading his script.
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh, you went straight to the dark ones. Yeah, huh?
I went straight to the dark
No.
one, you know?
No, yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that one. And then I saw RG3 say me reading my rookie year script, I believe it was. It's all like when he tore his ACL. And then and then I saw other ones of like Tom Brady like doing like a little turnaround. It's all like seeing Matt Ryan walk into the Super Bowl 51 script reading. So like blowing the 28-3 lead. It's all like I don't know, man. Everything was in there, but what was I mean, like Super Bowl aside, what was your favorite like not I don't know storyline or well anything about the Super Bowl? What was your favorite moment about it?
I mean, to me, it's just the fact that the game was engaging the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think everybody who is an avid NFL fan can honestly say the Rams Patriots was one of the worst Super Bowls to have to watch.
Especially
And
right after that
every
Eagles Patriots Super Bowl. I'm sorry, had to
exactly,
throw it in there.
so anticlimactic. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
always just like, you know what? Especially since Steelers are kind of in a rebuild right now, kind of trying to
Yeah.
put things out. I just want to see an entertaining game, and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
glad that it came down to the wire because I went home and went straight to bed. That's how exhausting this game was
Yeah.
for me. Like, not even invested besides like my bets. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, I remember that Super Bowl too, but it doesn't matter. It was a boring one. I mean, defense wins championships, I guess. But that day,
and went
it
to
was
go
all
sleep in the
defense.
third quarter. I don't even finish the Super Bowl, so
That's how
that's
you know Super Bowl's bad. But this one, yeah, this one had your heart racing throughout the whole time. Like you said, even if you don't have a team in it, it still gave you a little something. And like one of those things being like the Kelsey Bowl, you know, like you had Travis and Jason, Mama Kelsey, you know, like I think that was like a really great storyline. Teams aside, I'm like it was cool seeing like the brothers go head to head, you know, and like obviously they're both on offense, but like that was like a big storyline going in. But I don't know, one of the storylines that like well not storyline, but something that really rubbed me wrong after the game was your ex Steelers tweet the other day, you know. It was just recently
I don't
Valentine's
condone it.
Day.
I don't condone it.
It was Valentine's Day. He put out that little Valentine's card with James Bradbury. Uh, something about holding on to you. And it's all like, dude, come on. It's all like, I don't know. What do you, before I get into it, what do you have to say about it?
So here's my thing. So James Bradbury openly said it was a hold. I got caught. It'd be different if he was arguing after the fact, Debo, Ayuk type, like, oh, like they got lucky. Like, no, Bradbury straight up just was like, you know what? That was my bad. I thought somebody
No, you're
came in the
good.
office.
No, you're good.
My thought was, okay, Bradbury owned it. Cool. Juju
Mm-hmm.
doing that to me was so corny because it's just like, dude, it's not that funny. All you're going to do is, first of all, if CJ Gardner Johnson is in my mentions, I'm nervous because he really be putting threats out there.
Oh yeah.
But I will say I really liked AJ Brown's response, except for one part. Him saying that his career was resurrected. I wouldn't say that's very accurate because at the end of the day, I think Juju's still going to be a journeyman. He'll probably get a lot of work after this, regardless. He wasn't. He's never been able to recreate what he did when he had Antonio Brown on the other side. But he's still a pretty solid possession receiver. But man, I like that AJ Brown came to defend his teammate and calling Juju TikTok boy after him kind of being under the radar this season.
Yeah.
As opposed to, because listen, Brandon, I had to defend. I felt I was fighting for my life with Juju and Claypool and those TikToks, man.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like at one point I was like, is this battle even worth fighting? You know what I mean? But I think that was corny from Juju, and his response to AJ trying to victimize himself and trying to you could tell Juju doesn't know how to win. Yeah, he doesn't know how to win.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I'm sure everyone, well, not everyone, but majority of people know. Juju tweeted out saying "Happy Valentine's Day, everybody." And on the card, picture of Bradbury, and it says, "I'll hold you when it matters most." And then you mentioned CJ Gardner Johnson, and he had responded to that saying, "I got more interceptions than Bra had touchdowns. Maybe I need to change the wide receiver," with a bunch of laughing emojis. So it's all like, come on, man. It's all like, you won your Super Bowl. Just move it on, just keep moving along. There it is. I just can't believe he did it. It's all like, it was so unnecessary, like, you have your Super Bowl. Why? Like, what do you need more validation? Like, you had a good game, And then no, he thought it was funny. I saw on a lot of the quote sheets were like not making fun of him. Sorry. They were dragging him because it's all like, bro, come on. Like, really? Like, this was so unnecessary. And if you see the NFT since, it has his stats from the previous games, and it's all like, come on. Corvette, TikTok boy.
I don't think I can drive a Corvette now. Like, there's no way. Oh god.
Yeah, dude, it was bad.
It was definitely one of those moments where I was like, you know what? I'm glad I don't have to defend that anymore. That's not Juju. I still love you
anymore.
You're still forever in my heart, but that's not gonna be defended by me at all. I'm cool.
Oh man, I don't know. It's been a couple days. I don't know. I feel like it hasn't hit. Like, I was obviously not. I'm not gonna say depressed. I was really like down. I was like, this was the Eagles' year. This and that, blah blah. But I just feel like Hurts' performance. He had 4 touchdowns in the game. 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, which I believe was the record for a quarterback. It tied for most all-time rushing touchdowns with 3, but I believe it was the most for a quarterback. And then the 1 passing with the 45-yard bomb to AJ right after, I believe was that the second quarter, very first play. And I like, a lot of people are gonna like make fun of him for that very last play, or that Hail Mary. But it's all like, they were deep. They were deep. No, they were just deep. He threw it from the 30-yard line. He threw it from, I rewatched it earlier, and most Hail Marys are what, from the 50, from midfield, right? So that's 50. 40. That's 50-ish yards, right? They were deep into their own territory. He went back, he stepped back, took a couple steps forward, and chucked it from the 30-yard line to the opposing 20-yard line. That's 50 yards. Since they were an extra 20 yards behind, that normal 50-yard Hail Mary didn't get into the end zone because everybody was obviously deep into it. So everyone's gonna make fun of his like arm strength, but I'm all like, I had so many like opposing team fans in my DMs after the game. I was all like, most of them, their team hasn't won since 1995, if you know what I'm going with. But so I don't know. But game aside, Hurts had a great game, and I'm just excited for the future. But it is going to be a little harder, of course, because we just lost both our coordinators, offensive and defensive, and the OC is going to hurt me the most because I feel like we already have a system in place for Hurts. So I just hope whatever the next OC that comes in, whether they promote someone from one of their position coaches or they bring someone else in, I just hope they are able to continue with the system that's already in place, which is run first. And, whenever you need that 1 yard, you already know that QB sneak is coming. Majority of the people, it's coming. It's like, the play is so good when you know it's coming and you still can't stop it, So it's all like, that's going to be tough to deal with. So hopefully whatever new coordinator comes in, because the OC left to Indianapolis, just like last time Frank Reich left to Indianapolis. It's like, you want a head coaching job in Indianapolis? Come be the OC with the Eagles, So I don't know. I just hope whoever comes in next can really help out with that. And then the defensive coordinator, everyone was telling him, just stay in Arizona. You're going to be the Cardinals anyway, so just stay there. It's like, you lost us the game, so you can take that job. We don't even care at this point. So I don't know. It's just going to be tough. I don't know.
One thing I do want to point out, though, that I feel like a lot of people don't really point out, because it's, unless you really know what you're looking at, it's hard to pinpoint it. But I want to say that Edwards and Kaiser White were one of the best duos at linebacker this season. And I'll tell you, because this is embarrassing, but I'm in 28 fantasy football leagues.
Wait, I'm sorry. How many did you say?
28.
No, and you guys thinking you're in 2 to 4 leagues is a lot. Come on.
Listen, I have to start at least 40 minutes before game start to go through every single lineup, and then every time a new game's about to start, I got to make sure I, check my lineups, and that's a whole other talking point. But I'm in a few IDP leagues, which is where you pick individual players, and I ended up getting both Edwards and Kaiser White, and they were they were forces. But I will say, in this game, I've never seen Edwards so flat-footed. I'm telling you, as someone who I love watching tape when I played football. Edwards was uncharacteristically slow at the draw. Like he would be caught flat-footed, and in plays where I saw him make it all year, where he would jump into the gap.
Yeah,
he would just stay put, or he would hesitate. I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if Kansas City was just doing something different. Maybe the lights were a little too bright. This isn't the first Super Bowl ever, so it comes with the territory. But I was very disappointed, in his play. And on the opposite side, not to highlight a Chiefs player in front of you, but Bolton, who is another linebacker who plays really well roaming the field, he was a force out there. He was laying the wood out there. So it's very unique to see one side, excel in the big game, and another duo kind of fall to the wayside. But if you guys don't sign any of them, you guys have the Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean.
I was about to mention him. Yeah, they brought him in. It's all like he fell in the draft, obviously, and once we got him too, because we still have in the first round we also got Davis. I want to say,
monster,
what a tank.
Monster.
You cannot run whenever teams running on when he was on the field. No, you're not going to do it. So it's all so when we also got Nakobe Dean, it's all wow, we're getting the Georgia defense here in Philly. That's kind of nice. And he was expected to be a starter, but it's all like you said, our linebackers that came in, Nakobe Dean was supposed to start, but how you said, Kaiser White and Edwards, they just did so well that like there was no spot for Dean. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it goes out next season.
Yeah.
So before we move on, anything else you want to say about the Super Bowl?
CJ Gardner Johnson deserves whatever he asked for because it is
Pay the
very
man.
rare. It is very rare to have a center fielder like safety that can also that also has a hit stick in his repertoire. So the same way I like Minka roaming the field for Pittsburgh, I want CJ to continue being an Eagle. So that's probably a
Yes.
player I think needs to be priority number one for Roseman.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because he was leading the league in interceptions before he got injured, and it's all like C.J. Gardner Johnson, dude. He's a force to be reckoned with, and that especially after a couple years back we had secondary problems. So it's like it's nice now having a secondary that we can count on. Obviously, we didn't see it in the Super Bowl, sorry, but
First time for
but
sure.
yeah, but I'm like, it's nice being able to like, all right, we have a good defensive front line, and then after that, you got your linebackers taking up the rest, and then even behind them, if you get through the first and second line somehow, you still have the backfield to like take up everybody else. So it's kind of nice knowing that if one person messes up, we have other capable players to make up for it. Not like in years past, it's all like, oh my god, this guy's about to get a bomb thrown on him. It's all like you already see it coming.
Wait, one quick question for
Uh
you,
huh.
only because I've seen him be a very polarizing player for the Eagles in the last
Mm-hmm.
two off seasons. Miles Sanders. Tell me what your thoughts are on him right now, because I know he was hot this year. He was finally getting in
Yeah.
the end zone, and
Mm-hmm.
he goes against this Chiefs defense and does not perform. How do you feel about him?
Man, honestly, it was coming into like I had kind of like given up hope on Sanders kind of coming into the season. So, but it was nice to see him rejuvenate himself. And he had a great regular season. He helped us out tremendously in the playoffs, and like you said, but once he got into the Super Bowl, it was like he was non-existent. So I don't know, that maybe that's also why they were throwing a little more with Hurts, but that's all like, dude, we need. I like Sanders. I mean, we need him back, but that's the thing. As you know, contracts get all messy here and there. So I'm just eager to see what Howie's gonna do. Cause we went from fire Howie a couple years ago to we love you Howie, keep it up.
Yeah,
So
no, he made up for letting
he
Justin
made up for
Jefferson
it.
hit Minnesota. He made up for it.
Even though I'll never get over that. I had
No,
people to
that's
this day telling me Eagles took Rager over JJ, and I'm like, please do not remind me. Please do
and now
not.
Rager is the Viking.
Yep. Now they're teammates, so
The
kudos
thing that made it
kudos to
worse
Rager.
The thing that made it
Adios.
worse for me watching that is watching the clip where the Vikings staff was laughing at the
Yeah.
Eagles for picking
Meanwhile, they
Jalen Rager.
meanwhile they were laughing. I wanted to throw my phone at the ground because I was like, "What? Rager? JJ's right there. That was the LSU like powerhouse team that they just came off a national championship." I was like, "JJ is right there. The man is a stud." I didn't obviously. I'm not gonna say I saw him being this all-time great receiver right away, but I thought, okay, we have Wentz. He'd be a great weapon for Wentz at that point. And it's all like, dude, how like I don't know. That 2020 draft was just very controversial for Howie because that's when he took Rager, and then the next round, our Lord and Savior now, Jalen Hurts. So, but I think he's made up for it now.
Yeah,
So
listen,
I don't know.
my one thing though, if the Eagles let Miles Sanders test free agency, because he's a free agent, right?
I believe so. I want to. Yeah, I think this is fourth season
Y'all
already.
finesse the Saints into giving you a first. Go get Bijan and just make this the Super
We
Eagle
have
team.
we have the 10. We just came out. We're coming off a Super Bowl loss. Okay, I shouldn't say a Super Bowl loss, and
Mm-hmm.
we have the 10th overall pick. So I think we're in good hands
Oh
right
my
now with
God.
Howie.
I
So
know
I
I
don't
know
know.
running backs aren't taken high, but I think Bijan should be the
I've
one
seen
that I
Bijan
mean,
going.
listen,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Bijan with Jalen. I'm just gonna say right
that'd be
now,
nice.
might not be the best situation for him fantasy wise, but football wise,
I
it
don't
just
care about.
makes
Yeah,
I'm just saying
That's the
it
thing.
would just
Yeah, that's the
yeah
thing. We say we don't care about fantasy, but like at that day, once you see it, like if you see that your fantasy team is not winning at that point, you're like, I don't care as long as my team wins. I don't know if you're that way, but I'm that way. I'm like, once I see my team already took an L for the week, I'm like, all right, as long as the Eagles win, I'm okay. You know, I
yeah.
don't know if you're
See,
the same way with the Steelers.
well, here's the thing: having 28 fantasy teams,
Right, I'll
I
give you
almost
that.
just root for everybody. I'm like, all right, oh, they scored. I'm sure that helped me somewhere.
Yeah. Oh
Hmm.
man, so I don't know. I think we're gonna take a quick break right here, and when we come back, we'll have some NBA news. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the very first episode of the Sports Planet podcast. I'm here with Alex Valadez, and as we all know, this weekend, upcoming weekend, NBA All Star Weekend. What's aside from the All Star game? What's one of your favorite? What's one of your favorite events?
You know, as much as it's been disappointing,
I
I
already know.
always want to look at the slam dunk contest and hope that I'm pleasantly surprised because it's almost like someone that's like searching for that high again when Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine went crazy. So I'm hoping we can get something like that this time around. Just because All Star games are very lackluster for the
Yeah,
most part.
but have you seen who's in the dunk contest this year? Because I
No, who?
feel like you will be disappointed.
Oh no,
Uh,
who's been confirmed?
it is from the Houston Rockets, Kenyon Martin Jr. From the New Orleans Pelicans, Trey Murphy III. From the New York Knicks, Jericho Sims.
Oh, not even
And from
Obi.
the Philadelphia 76ers, no, exactly. And from the Philadelphia 76ers, former Laker, Mac McClung. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I saw a tweet that said, "Who is Mac McClung?"
I'm all
Oh
like, I
my
mean, I guess if
god.
as a Laker fan, if I have a pick or who someone I'm rooting for, I guess I'm going for McClung. But like you were saying, I'm used to having big names in the dunk contest because when I saw that on Twitter, everyone was like, who, like who's in the dunk contest? So I feel like the last couple of years it's been pretty kind of like, I guess well this guy's a winner because he was the one that sucked the least, you know?
Yeah, I mean, last year's was what Jalen Green, Cole Anthony, and oh god, blanking on who else. But it was that one was also
Exactly.
very
No, exactly.
lackluster
Wait.
too.
Exactly. You're over here trying to think of who it was. That should show you how bad it's been recently. So
Yeah,
once obviously they announce all stars, this and that, who's participating. Once I saw that, I was like, come on, dude. It's all like, do I even want to watch it at this point? Like, are you watching it to see who sucks at least, or are you just watching it hoping it does something? You know.
yeah.
So I feel like this year though, out of those four players, if you had to pick one, who are you riding with?
um, Martin from Houston, just because Kenyon Martin was a stud. So let's hope his son uh can replicate that.
Right?
Oh
Nah.
man,
All
that
right,
was
let's move.
ugly.
Before we get to the All Star game, I think this one will be a little easier. The 3 point contest. I feel like this one should be better because we have some good 3 point shooters obviously in here, and we so in the 3 point contest this year we have first time All Star Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers, and then you have for the Miami Heat Tyler Hero. And then we have another Pacer, Buddy Hield, who many thought was going to be a Laker before the season, but we'll get to that later on. Not even later on. We'll get to that another day. And then we got Kevin Huerter from the Sacramento Kings, Damian Lillard from Portland Trailblazers, Laurie Markkinen from the Utah Jazz, first time All Star, and Fernie Simons from the Portland Trailblazers, and one of the MVP frontrunners, Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics. Out of that field, I don't know. I'm riding with Jason Tatum in this one. I feel because there's something about. Obviously, you want to go with like someone like Buddy or Tyler Hero, Lillard, even because they have that knockdown three. But there's something about the 3 point contest where it's more than just being a 3-point shooter. You have to have a good system going in because you have a certain amount of time. I'm riding with Jason Tatum in this one. What about you?
You know what? I'm gonna go with somebody who has been very kind to me in the NBA prop market. I'm gonna go with Anthony Simons. I
Okay.
think I've seen him get very hot, and I think if he
Mm-hmm.
sees a couple go through the basket, I think he could get up there and challenge there. But Dame is hard to not pick for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hard not to pick him, but I'm all like, I don't want to go with the best shooter on there that you can think of. Like I feel like it's harder than just shooting the ball. You I don't know. But speaking of All Star Weekend, we have obviously the All Stars game. Something the NFL doesn't know about. The NBA All Star game is actually really good. I don't know, but they just did the new Pro Bowl game this year that seems like it might be here to stay, but who knows? We'll see.
They just need to do
So
skills challenges for the NFL. They gotta
yeah,
stop playing. Tyreek Hill
yeah.
got knocked out. I got knocked out, but knocked over. Like, God forbid he tore his ACL. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's a whole different way to do it in the NFL because like obviously it's a contact sport. You don't want them risking injury. And the NBA, it's more of a pickup game. Obviously, injuries can still happen, but it's way less likely because they don't play much defense in the game until the fourth quarter, anyways. So right here we got obviously team captains Giannis and LeBron James, and then so these are the starters right here. We got Giannis, Joel Embiid, who said he might not play because of his foot injury, that he might sit out. We got Kyrie Irving, Eastern Conference All Star starter, who's obviously now on the Mavericks. Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum and that rounds out the East. And then on the West side, we got Luka, LeBron, Lauri Markkanen, John Morant, aka I'm fine in the West, and the reigning two-time MVP Nikola Jokic. So, have you seen the new? Uh, have you seen the new draft style?
Yes, and that LeBron and Durant one where they were arguing or they were trying to figure out who to draft last. That was great content. I loved
With
it.
the Utah Jazz players, Mitchell
Yeah.
and Gobert. No, but yeah, so this year they're actually going to draft the teams right ahead of tip off. So it's going to be real pickup style. And it's all because as it says right here, the All Star Draft featuring LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo selecting players for Team LeBron and Team Giannis will take place directly before the All Star Game on Sunday, February 19th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. So they're going to be lining up, maybe let's say half court. All right, I'm LeBron probably going to go first. I feel like LeBron. You think he could go for the storylines, Kyrie?
Hmm. No, because Katie's out, Curry's out, right?
Yeah,
They're both missing the. Oh
yeah.
man.
John Morant replaced Curry in the starting lineup, and then Joel Embiid replaced Durant in the starting lineup. But Joel Embiid, it was just reported, I believe, today or time of the day of recording that he might not play this weekend. So
I think he goes with Kyrie or Luca. I don't know. Either one of those, I think, is where he'll start off with. Even though I know Jokic is probably a fun one, but I think it's Kyrie or Luca.
yeah, and then right here it has the reserves. We have Kevin Durant, but he's not going to play because of injury. Bam Adebayo, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, Julius Randle, and Pascal Siakam, who was added as an injury replacement. And on the Western Conference reserves, we have Stephen Curry, who will not play due to injury, Zion Williamson, which is another topic right there. He was named a starter, even though he hasn't played since January 2nd. He's missed a lot of games, but nobody told him anything about being street clothes Zion, right? Guess it only matters when you're AD. Well, that's another
Exactly.
topic for later. And then we
Literally.
got Anthony Edwards, who's an injury replacement, De'Aaron Fox, and Paul George. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, one of my favorite younger players right now. Straight up baller. Like, sure, the Clippers got PG in that trade, but Shea was a steal for the Thunder in that trade. I'm just gonna say that. And then we got Jaren Jackson Jr., Damian Lillard, and Domantas Sabonis. So, out of those players, who do you think could potentially steal the All Star MVP?
Out of the reserves, I would love to see SGA do it. I have a buddy that's a big time Clippers fan who told me how disappointed. Like he was happy to get. He doesn't regret it. He doesn't regret it, but he's sad.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. The Clippers didn't keep SGA.
There's no way you could have in that trade. There's no way.
No, you had to. But I will say I've been very impressed with him. He's been called upon, and like the Thunder are performing a lot better than anyone expected. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who know basketball know SGA has all the tools and makeup to be like a perennial all-star type of player.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Him putting it together this season. I mean, in terms of gambling, if you bet on him that his season points per game average was at 23, and he's absolutely smashed that. So
yeah, I believe he's at 30 right now.
Yeah,
he's at 30.
SGA would be a fun one to just watch him go out there and just like,
especially pickup style game. SGA has that silky smooth finish. He has such a nice jumper. He's so quick on the court, But I think in this game, I might have to go with former Jazz Donovan Mitchell. He's gonna have to put on a show for that former hometown crowd. It's all like
storyline right there.
Storyline. It's all in the script, like how the NFL players say. So it has to be part of the NBA script. But I mean, out of those players, is there anyone that you think deserved to be an All-Star this season but wasn't?
See, it's funny because when you look at like the NBA All-Star game, like when you look at the polls and like you see who's up there,
mm-hmm.
you always see those players that shouldn't be there, but they're there because the fan base is strong.
Yeah.
Wasn't Reeves on there?
Reeves was on there, yeah. He was. There was no way he was gonna make it, but yeah, he was on there.
But
that's the thing. It's all like they changed it a couple years ago because of the Zaza Pachulia situation, where fans voted him in as a starter, and the NBA is like, whoa, what's going on? We got to fix this. So it's like that's when they changed the fan voting to only, I believe, 25%. So it's all like we can't let them do the whole thing now, So that would have been crazy because you would have seen like someone like Austin Reeves make the All-Star game. Obviously, I'm a Laker fan, love Reeves, but you don't want one home crowd getting in a player just because he's a fan favorite. You want people that are deserving of it. And I don't know, maybe just my bias, I don't know, but I feel like AD should have been in it because if Zion was voted a starter, obviously that could have been something to do with fans. But Zion has missed more games than him, and he hasn't, like I said earlier, he hasn't played since the second day of the year, January 2nd. And like obviously he's gonna miss the All-Star game due to injury, and a lot of people like Anthony Davis was having like an MVP caliber season before he got injured in December, and it's all like so when he came back, he's still helping produce with like he's helping the team, But everybody always uses that, he's street clothes AD, like it's not like there's been players of high caliber that have missed a bunch of games just like him, but it's not like it only is highlighted when he misses a game, I don't know.
About Kawhi. Kawhi
exactly
literally misses all these games, and you can say load management, but a lot of it has been because of his knee.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear street clothes for him. But to answer your question, I was really happy to see Anthony Edwards be called up for the reserves.
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards is
baller.
I feel like no one is giving him the credit that he deserves for the way he's been performing because Minnesota made that big splash, got Gobert.
Yeah,
and which by the way, I think there's a stat out there, just off memory, that like he doesn't pass it to Gobert either, which I think is just hilarious. Gobert's
just like Mitchell
right now.
I don't know. I think the Jazz gave up way too much for Gobert.
Oh,
but
100%.
That's also I feel like part of the reason why the why KD didn't get traded in the offseason, because it's all like, oh, if they got Gobert for that, we can get a whole freaking team for KD, you know? So it's all like that Gobert trade really ruined the trade market value, because it's not like someone like Gobert, who's obviously been an all-star before, but it's all like, I just don't think he was worth all that. So I don't know.
Elite defender, rim protector, but his offensive game, I feel like if you're going to be worth that much in assets, you kind of have to be putting it up on the offensive side.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, so all I know is obviously there's no teams set yet, because it's Team LeBron versus Team Giannis. Like I said earlier, there's going to be a pregame draft. So all I know is if I had to pick someone, I'm going to go with LeBron, because LegGM's teams in All-Star, since the voting changed, since the All-Star game format changed to captains, LeBron is 5-0. So I'm just going to go with LeBron in this game, even though we'll see if he plays much, because he barely came back on Wednesday against the Pelicans. But I feel like that's after breaking the scoring record. He missed a couple games, came back for the game against the Pelicans. But I feel like that's because he wanted to be able to, say, okay, I played that game. Let me play the All-Star game now,
Yeah, and I feel like players like LeBron, you know what's crazy is I see the Jordan stands like really trying to rain on LeBron's parade. Like,
Yep.
I feel like LeBron could break every record in the rule book. And they're like, yeah, but championships.
Yeah.
Or championship record.
Yeah. It's all like, even if LeBron were to get to this Laker team, that's a whole other discussion for another day. But this if there was somehow LeBron he got to 6 championships, they're gonna be like, well, MJ was 6-0, LeBron 6, and how many losses? There's no way that MJ crowd is ever gonna crown LeBron as the GOAT, which is a very, I think that question is deserved, because as we just saw last week, he literally just broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record, the NBA all-time scoring record, a record that stood for 39 years. So many people that played previously or whatever, a lot of them thought this was a record that was never be broken, right? Yeah. So the fact that he broke it, NBA fans, sorry, I've seen MJ fans saying, oh, well, it's because he's played longer. But it's all like, shouldn't that show even more, like, he has the longevity, but he's been playing at an all-star level still. So it's all like, for me personally, I'm a huge Kobe fan. Nobody will ever top Kobe for me in terms of skill, all that, right? But for the GOAT debate, I feel like you have to take everything into consideration, records, accolades, this and that. And LeBron is putting up a really great case as to why he can be one of the greats. So I don't know. What's your stance on that?
I for one, growing up, basketball wise, I knew Jordan was great. I didn't know to the extent of it. And I'm just telling you, just me being honest, like I'm never gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm an NBA historian or all this other stuff. But when I watched The Last Dance, I was blown away. And again, just me. I mean, I'm 29 and I didn't even know that. It's like I didn't know basketball like that back at that age, It really put it in perspective for me, and it made me argue for Jordan. But I feel like LeBron overall. So, like, I feel like, and I hate the semantic part of it. Like, I guess just like Jordan, you could say he's the greatest, like maybe championship or like playoff player. You can put that like for sure. But overall best player, I just don't know how you don't equate him, LeBron, with his longevity, the fact that his scoring, like the fact that he's high up there in assists, like he's not just doing it himself. The fact that he deferred a ton throughout his career. Like, I look at players like Luka, who are, I've seen him get 30 points in a first half, but like LeBron's never had to be the 30, 40-point game every game. Yeah. He's very much capable of it, but he's never had to be that guy. I mean, just looking at LeBron's resume, I feel like no one's gonna appreciate him until hopefully it's not like until he's gone. But
Yeah.
like his resume speaks for itself, and people are gonna argue a wall for Jordan until
Oh yeah.
those people are not here. Time passes, but no, I think LeBron James very much is. If he's not if he's not already a goat to people, he should be very aggressively fighting
He's
Jordan
very
for that
high
role
on
in
that
your head.
list.
Yes.
No, yeah. These I don't know, it's just like MJ fans are just so stuck on MJ, and obviously they have every right to be. They have every reason to be because MJ obviously the greatest player of all time. That's but LeBron's getting there. So it's all like all these fans are just so stubborn. Like it looks, there's no way you can tell them anything good about LeBron because they're gonna be like, oh well, MJ did this, MJ did that. They're just like so. It just looks like they're getting so tired of LeBron being so great. So it's like they're running out of ideas of how to defend MJ at this point. I don't know,
Yeah.
but if there was one player in the NBA, because obviously now we have scoring is going up like no other. Because back
Mm,
then it was like a team gets to 100, wow, that's great. Because the score it wasn't as fast paced of a game. Now it's
yeah.
like you didn't hit 100, how? So like you were mentioning Luka, it's all like if you had to pick a player in the NBA right now to break the record, who do you think it'd be? Like,
This is
Luka's
gonna
a pretty
sound.
good choice too.
That's who I was leaning to, and that's kind of why I referenced him. Is
Mm-hmm.
the volume of shots he takes, um, his usage per game, and I know they just got Kyrie.
Yep.
I don't care if Kyrie promises on his mama's life that he's going to stay a Maverick. I don't think he's going to be a Maverick more than this season.
Coming to the
Um,
Lakers.
he should. And frankly, the fact that Joe Tsai didn't do it is just he's a very petty owner, and
They
that
hate us
might
because
affect
they
him
ain't
long
us.
term.
That's why. It's the same thing. Now that you mentioned the Kyrie trade, that whole trade deadline was crazy. I feel like this trade deadline was what we expected last year because obviously Kyrie was going into that final year where he could opt into his deal or not, and it's all like I don't know. I think we just expected so much last season, but like this season, you're like, wait, my phone's about ringing. Oh, what? Kyrie wants a trade? Aren't aren't they like in the playoff race right now? Like I believe they were like a top 4 seed at some point. Like when Kyrie was when he requested the trade, it's like what's going on in Brooklyn, dude? It's all like and now that you like Kyrie's gone, and then they trade KD to the Suns. Is it?
I was so pissed. I was so pissed.
It's we'll get to that one right now, but it's all like
Why does Katie keep getting away with this?
but LeBron switches teams and they want to like tell him, oh, you keep switching teams, but KD doesn't. It's all like at least when LeBron did it, he won a championship wherever he went. KD is all like he went to okay, he won 2 with the Warriors, but he already joined a 73-9 team that didn't need him according to Draymond Green. But then he goes to Brooklyn with Kyrie in 2019. They play a season together, and then the very next season, midway, they trade for James Harden. And in totality, they were only together for a season and a half, about. But in totality, they only played 16 games together. That big three era. So the Nets have been known for some pretty bad trades recently. So what would you say was a bigger failure? This big three era of KD, Kyrie, and Harden, or what they did about 10 years ago when they tried trading for Pierce, Garnett, and making that super team with like Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, and Brooke Lopez.
It was definitely the one from with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett
Yes.
because you were picking up players that were either past their prime or like on the bottom on the second half of the fall of the curve.
Yeah.
Whereas you got perennial players who you allowed to have a lot of say, and the moment that you took the say away, they were like, all right, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for cussing. I don't know how you feel
Nah,
about
you're
that
good.
and like Are they both failures? 100%. But I
No,
will say
definitely.
when that trade happened for Pearson Garnett, I'll say a month into before the trade happened, I was like, oh my god, could they really, be like maybe hitting the fountain of youth, and
Hmm.
they'll have like a run. But watching them play, it was
It
sad,
was
man.
terrible.
Like, oh
And what
god,
makes that
just
even worse is that two of the first rounders that were part of that trade ended up being Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Imagine if the
oh
Nets would have been a little bit more not I mean, it's because obviously Danny Ainge, the former GM of the Celtics, he was like everybody was making fun of him at that point. Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this? But it's all like he was thinking long term. So like he just planned it out perfectly to the point where let me get those draft picks. It'll work maybe a year, but that first year they made it to the conference semis and not much happened obviously after that. So where he planned it perfectly to the point where it's like, all right, they're gonna start getting their downfall, and we're gonna start getting the first rounders, and that's where Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum became Celtics thanks to that trade. And I'm like, it's just crazy to think they only this current modern big three of Kyrie, KD, and Harden only played 16 games, and to their to their to not to toot their horn or whatever, but they at least had a 13-3 record. So it shows what could have been. It's a small sample
that's
size.
sad.
Exactly. So it's all like, what was happening in Brooklyn that was so bad that Harden decided to ask for a trade out of there? Was it Kyrie? Who knows? Or was it more deeper problems in the franchise itself?
I
That
think it
I.
was deeper problems. Like my thought, you look at Kyrie, you look
Mhm.
at James Harden, you look at Kevin Durant. They're three very polarizing players. They're three players that feel that, rightfully so, should
Mhm.
maybe not have the decision to make a decision as
Yeah.
with the GM, but should be uh, aware of what's going on. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like you always hear
Yeah.
players
Yeah.
say that. I feel, and this is just from theories I picked up from social media, but that they gave him too much power early, and then when they wanted to take it right back,
The
they were
player
like,
empowerment.
"Who do you think you're talking to? Like, you think
Yep.
you can just like butt me out now?"
Yeah.
Total botch. Josiah is going to have to do a lot to repair himself for free agent visits moving forward, but
That. But at least they got some good pieces back in return in that KD. Because I don't know if you've been paying attention recently, but Mikal Bridges has been going off. So it's like he's a pretty good piece to build around. But
I
it's all
felt
like I don't
so
know.
bad for him when I saw the interview of him saying like, you know what, man? Look, I'm happy for them. They get KD, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna miss my friends. I'm gonna miss
yeah,
my family.
yeah,
I'm gonna miss my home.
yeah.
His offensive game this season has
'Cause-
developed in a way that
oh
I
yeah,
was not expecting. I
because most of
definitely was
them,
not.
most people know him just as like he had a okay shot, good enough to get you by. But like he was more prided more on the defensive end. So it's all
Mhm.
like now that his offense is developing, it's like okay, man, maybe even and remember he got traded from Philly, his hometown, on draft night to the Phoenix. So that's all like, dang. So like he's developed a lot, and so like, did Philly mess up on that one too? Because like maybe they should have kept him because I want to say they traded him for Zaire Smith, and it's all like, where's he at?
Exactly. And see, now thinking about the Nets, do you remember when they had the fun Nets team? It's funny they got Dinwiddie back, but they had
Oh yeah,
Dinwiddie,
he's like he hasn't going back
Russell.
home.
Like they had a nice little
2018.
core going. Yeah, they had a
Mm-hmm.
fun they had a fun team. Like they were fun to watch. Like when they ended up being like on the TV, like they were
Oh
dancing and
yeah,
having fun. It was great basketball.
Jared Dudley was like like not the captain. He was that veteran presence. It's all like,
He was trying to be the defensive enforcer too
yeah,
at times. It's hilarious.
yeah.
Hilarious.
But it's all like, damn, dude, it's like we're not now that you mentioned that 2018 team with D'Lo. I mean, obviously LeBron was disappointed that Kyrie went to the Mavericks. Any Laker fan probably was too. But for since that happened, we ended up getting D'Angelo Russell back, and it's all like, honestly, I think he complements LeBron and AD very well. Obviously, I would have rather had Kyrie, but I'm just saying
100%.
D'Lo isn't a bad pickup either. Because obviously, what happened in the past is It's gonna stain him for a while.
Nick Young is gone. No one cares.
Oh,
No one
you
cared
say
because bro code, but I don't care about. No, give me D'Lo right now. I don't care. Like, please fight.
that's what I'm saying, because it's all like, not only could he help LeBron with ball handling duties, like he also has a nice shot. He can hit it from the mid range. He can hit it from three, and you know he just he just has a all around game that like complements this team a lot more than Russ. But it's all like, that's the thing. It's all like, obviously I believe the Lakers did what was best for them, and that's great and all. But it's just the way they handled the Russ trade and all that. It's like they did him dirty, you know. It's like, I don't know. It's
I feel
because
bad for us.
I do too, and that's what I'm trying to get at. It's all like, oh man, like obviously LeBron and AD wanted him, and they had to deal with that last year. Failed experiment. I was all for trading him before the season. But once they brought him in again, because nobody wanted him, $47 million contract, final season, right? Final season on his contract, I'm saying. And it's all like, they tell him, buy into a bench role and you will flourish in that. Like, and it's like, what did he do? All right, he went to the bench, and his play revamped, right? So it was all like, wow, he really bought into this bench role. And I'm all like, wow, like Russ is actually going to be a key contributor to this team if we can make it to the playoffs, because he'll just have. I feel like he'll have that game that, like, if LeBron or AD is off, he can be the one to help him win a playoff game, you know. But it's just all like, and then in his final game, the night that LeBron breaks the record, he's the one that kept him in the game the whole time. Like that fourth quarter, like they were like the game was getting away from them. And then Russ was just the one who's like, "No, give me the ball. I'll attack. I'll attack. I'll attack." And then just for the very next day for them to trade him, it's like, after you just told him to buy into the bench role and all that, it's like, come on, this man was like, he was maybe the leading candidate for Sixth Man of the Year. I want to say, if not, he was one of them. But it's all like, I understand the Lakers got better, but it's just the way they handle it, and I just feel like that looks bad for future all stars or any player in general, you know, because I'll like, okay, they can tell me they want me to do this right now, but like they're just gonna trade me once they get the chance, you know. So I just feel like it's gonna look better. I mean, worse for them later on.
There's a stigma that comes with players that join LeBron and
Mm-hmm.
his tenures with even with other teams, where like players like Kevin Love get ostracized because they're not performing, but in some instances they almost have to become spot up shooters.
Yeah.
I'm not saying necessarily for this team, but like you see that a lot, because you gotta lend your game to LeBron. You gotta let him be the one that cooks, and you gotta complement it however that may be. And I agree. I think D'Lo is a great option. Before he got traded, he did have a couple. I think like an 8 to 10 game stretch where I think he was just stroking it from mid
Mm-hmm.
range, and he was like just playing really smart, efficient basketball. Which with LeBron and AD, if your touches are going to be limited, you want to be efficient and you want to be
Yep.
confident when you shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. It was funny though. Patrick Beverly is like Eli Apple, like in the NFL. It's just fun to watch
Oh,
him go through stuff.
chirping
Watching
at you.
him, watching him say "gang" to
Yeah,
D'Lo,
it's
and
all the
not
gang
even
is reunited. Less than 12 hours later, he's at his way. He's on his way to Orlando to get
Orlando.
bought out. Yeah, he was part of that Mo Bamba trade.
Oh
So
man,
like,
Mo Bamba.
so
I like that move. Bryant
form,
getting traded was surprising for sure.
but yeah, TB, I like him, but the reports were that he requested the trade, so that's why they traded him.
Nah, I like the story that because he called for the ball in the game winning shot, LeBron
We'll
said
go with
no.
that one. It's all part of this. It's all part of the script.
Exactly,
No,
exactly.
yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, aside from D'Lo, they got some good pieces. You know, Malik Beasley, like that game against Portland. He started. Obviously that game against Portland. Portland was making everything, but Malik Beasley was that one. It's all like, oh, dude, this is the game that he's gonna build off. You know, because what do the Lakers need? They desperately need 3-point shooting, and Malik Beasley, he brings that. And what else? What else does any other team need? Defensive energy, hustle. Beasley's a really good 3-and-D player, and I feel like he'll flourish here because he has D'Lo, he has AD, he has LeBron. Yeah, the court should be filled. Like, he's gonna have so much space now because all of the attention that gets attracted to the stars. And that was also another very big storyline.
Oh man.
it was once I saw that trade, I saw somebody say something like Malik Beasley to Scottie Pippen Jr. Where's your mom at? It's like,
Oh
bro,
my
come
god.
on. But now she's
Like
with
imagine he's like, yo, does your mom still buy those gummies that I love, the Welch's one? Like,
I don't know. Now you're gonna have to ask MJ's son about that.
that I would think that they'd be closer, where like maybe Jordan's son wouldn't be going after Larsa, but maybe they're not that
I
close.
don't
I don't
know.
know.
Maybe that feud is bigger than it seems between MJ and Scotty.
Yeah,
But yeah, Malik Beasley, and then someone we haven't talked about, Jared Vanderbilt. He's a nice
he's a
big who provides hustle, defense, rebounding, everything. I mean, this man. Like, you need someone that hustles. It's like he's so great on the defensive end. Is all like I feel with him not needing to score as much. He'll just flourish on that end. But as like I was saying earlier, Russ getting traded away, it's gonna hurt. But in in reality, it made the team better. So that's all I can say.
yeah, so like I wanted Russ to work. I definitely
Mm-hmm.
started
Desperately, yeah,
that that clip of when that reporter was asking him about a specific play and kind of
mm-hmm.
giving him his flowers. Like
Yeah,
I was like, damn, I really haven't seen Russ smile in a
yeah,
long
that,
time.
yeah,
This
yeah.
sucks.
That in that clip, he's all like, "You need to be here more often," or something like that. It's all like,
Yeah, and
and
I
it's like
felt
you just
for
saw
him.
him starting to come out of his shell, like the Russ that people knew and loved. Like he had a great energy, this and that, but it's just the LA lights. Like, there's something about being in a Laker jersey. It's like you're not playing basketball. You're playing basketball for the Lakers. So like you're being
Yeah,
held to a higher standard. So like if you play, like, just say in some small market, you can have a bad game and nobody's gonna say anything. But if you play in the Lakers, you have one bad game. It's like, oh, dude, this guy sucks. Get him out of here. I don't know. We'll see how it
fans are
goes.
unforgiving.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. So I mean, that's all I really have for today. Anything else that you're thinking of?
Um, John Morant is definitely quaking in his boots right now. I'll tell you what, I like John a lot. I think
Yeah,
I like his personality, and even his little feud with like Shannon Sharp is kind of like interesting as like a fan.
yeah, yeah.
But I gotta say, Dylan Brooks is the easiest person to hate, and I
Oh,
liked him. I liked his game before, like not necessarily
yeah,
as like not necessarily as like his the 1B to Ja, because I kind of hope Jaren Jackson keeps on playing well.
yeah, yeah.
But God, man, Dylan
I don't know,
Brooks is like so dirty, man.
because back then, you know. Sorry, go ahead.
I, I've never seen Donovan Mitchell get so mad at someone. He's so level-headed. So when I
Hmm.
saw that, I was like, nah, Dylan Brooks he's an asshole on the court for sure.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's all like we saw it with the last couple of years. It's like the Phoenix Suns, they're so cocky. It's all like they act like they've been here before when they haven't won anything. Sure, they made it to the finals a couple seasons ago, but it's all like they haven't won anything, but they have that cockiness as if, yeah, we're the one that runs this league. And now I feel like I'm seeing that with the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's all like, come on, Ja, like you were one of my favorite players, like just like how Booker was for me before. Book was one of my favorite players because, like, as me growing up, I was a huge Kobe fan. Saw Book was a huge Kobe idolizer, and I was like, yo, like Book is next up. And then I don't know what changed that, like, he just started getting all cocky, and now I'm seeing that with Ja too, because I'm like, Ja was like one of my favorite players, and it's all like now they're starting to get cocky. Like when Malika Andrews asked him, "Oh, who do you guys need to run through, whatever? And he's like, Boston Celtics. And she's like, so no one from the West? He's like, nah, I'm good in the West. I'm like, bro, you guys haven't done anything, you know? It's like, come on, don't get that cockiness if you haven't won anything.
I'm telling you, because all you do at that point, because then I saw a comment that Josh said, like, oh, we're the most hated team. But it's like, no, you put the target on your own back and then got mad that someone targeted it.
Yep.
Like, I'm telling you, the Suns lifting and doing all these workouts post game were made it, I was literally like,
cringe.
Listen, when I saw Luka get mad in that series, it was this past year, right?
Yeah, last year.
Watching him say like, "Hey man, it's easy to talk shit when you're up," I was like, "Oh man,
I loved it. I loved it.
I don't think I can hate Luka. I think Luka would have to do some really uncharacteristic shit for me to be like, oh, I don't fuck with Luka no more."
No, yeah, because Luka, it's all like, I understand he hasn't won anything, but it's all like he's not out here acting a fool like how Ja and like Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks are, like, you know. They're over here like, oh no, we run this spot. But like Luka only responds when someone like them do something to him, you know? But it's all like Luka responds with his words and then he'll just drop a triple double on you like nothing, you know? So it's all like, at least he backs it up with his game too. So damn. I don't know. I'm just excited to see how the season turns out, because after these trades, I feel like it's with the new play-in tournament, anybody can make the playoffs now. So if the Lakers can't make their way at least into the play-in tournament and then win that to like get back into the actual playoffs, it's like, come on. But I think these trades that they made at the deadline, including Rui the week before, because we haven't spoken about Rui Hachimura.
Please play better.
Yeah, he'll get there, I feel. But it's all like, I think these recent trades can really help the Lakers fight for a playoff spot. And if all else fails, maybe Kyrie comes after in the offseason. I don't know. Kyrie, you want to come to LA?
It's happening. It's happening.
No, let's see. If the Lakers do not offer, if the Lakers and D'Angelo do not come to a contract extension of any sorts, I'm 100% expecting Kyrie to come. That's the only reason why they shouldn't have a contract extension. Because aside from that, Pelinka, just come on, man. Got to do something for us, please. LeBron's over here playing his heart out. He doesn't. The way he's going, he has another 20 years in him, but who knows how much longer he'll be with us, because obviously he wants to play with Bronny, you know? So, I don't know. I just hope we're able to maximize LeBron's window with us while he's still here, while also setting us up for the future, because someone like, even if we don't get Kyrie, someone, a pairing of D'Lo and AD for the future, that'd still be pretty nice, you know, because they both can play off of each other. But I don't know, man. That's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Is there anything that you like to tell the audience where they can find you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Very honored to be the first guest. Hopefully, I get some more welcomes in, and you definitely need to invite me in August, because I need to show you why it's Trey Lance season in San Francisco. But we can save that for another day.
Yeah.
I am constantly writing articles on what you expect. So look them up on Twitter, WY Expects, and on the internet. Just gave all my predictions for quarterbacks and O-line and where they'll end up in free agency, or if they retire, like, with certain players, like, I thought Eagles were going to win, so I said Kelsey was going to retire as a champion. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore.
It might. He said it didn't. He said it didn't matter, but he might. I hope he doesn't, though. Sorry, go ahead.
At least one more run, you know what I mean?
Yeah, give me one more.
Yeah, but that's it for me, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for the very first episode of Sports Planet Podcast. And for everybody else, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.